data table. We discussed about PageBlock table. So let us discuss about the data list once again. I hope you people have completed the previous example, the enhanced list view. Did you complete the enhanced list view? Right. So we have discussed about enhanced list view. So let us go for the next topic. We will be discussing about representing the parent-child relation in the PageBlock table. I want to display parent object and the corresponding child object fields. So let us start here. For that, I need to know one of the topic called Apex data list and repeat. There are two more list views that we got, based on which I am going to use it internally. So let me start here. So we are going to start about the data list. So when you want to go for a representation of list, we'll go with standard controller. What is the standard controller? Account, then record set where items, I am displaying here page block. It's not visible. So it's visible for everyone, right? Okay. So within the page block, I am creating here data list. Value. So value I'll give it as items. The same format what we have done in the last session. But only the variation is the records what I am displaying here, they are displayed in the form of list. Because it is not a table, so we won't get in the form of rows or columns. We will get in the form of a list. So we are getting the data. So what happened here? We got the data in the form of list. We can indicate Roman number, ones, all those things we can indicate. Now we also have one more component here along with this. We call it as repeat. So let me create here. Page block. Within the page block I have Apex repeat. In the repeat I am taking here value equal to items, now I am displaying the value a dot only. It blindly repeats the values whatever that we are printing here. So let me show you the values here. How the data is printed, it is repeated. Now it is up to your choice how you display it. You want to display in the form of a table, you want to display in the form of a block, how you want to display it's up to your choice. How you want to display it's up to your choice. Right. So repeat means it prints the values one after the other. When you say list, what happened? The data is going to be represented in the form of list. The data is going to be represented in the form of list. I hope this is clear for everyone. Now let us take some further examples, advanced examples on this. Now I am giving standard controller account. So when you go for the standard controller account, we are going to have the corresponding child object. So contact, opportunity, all those are sales of account. So let me say items. Apex, page block. In the page block, I am creating here Apex page block table, value equal to items. Any query till here? The example what we have done earlier, the same example I am doing here. I hope till here it's clear for everyone, right? Now we are creating Apex column, value equal to a dot name. I have printed one column here. Apex column, value equal to a dot industry. Next column I am taking here, Apex column. In this column, I am trying to print the value Apex repeat. Now what I am taking here, I am creating a repeat within a column. It is also one of the column. In one of the column, I am using a repeat. In one of the column, I am using a repeat. If not, in one of the column, I can use data list. It is up to my choice. Now, value. Parent record will have a number of child. Am I right? Parent will have a number of child. Now, what is the parent record? A is the parent record. For A is the parent record, it will have a number of child records. So, I need to give A dot contacts. I need to give A dot contacts. For record A, what are the list of contacts that we have? That I have taken. Var equal to B. Now, here I am going to display B dot phone. Right. So let me take the preview of this. Now what happened here? Parent record or the corresponding phone numbers. When you took the corresponding phone numbers, what happened here? It has got two phone numbers. It has got one phone number. Now I have created this column. In this column, I am trying to refer to the child object fields. Now parent dot childs. Parent dot childs. Plural form. Parent dot childs. Getting my point? At the time of creating a master detail or lookup relation, there is a field called relation field. Whatever the name that we give there, that we have to use. Generally, it will be plural form of the child object. So it is a contacts, right? A dot contacts. For a record called A, what are the corresponding childs what we have? That is referred with A dot contacts. Got my point here? So let me give you in this format. So, okay. I'll just slightly change this one. Let me take one more program. I hope you followed. I'll explain one more time. Customer object, name I'm printing. Right. So this is let me get XC. So now I give A dot transaction because it's a custom object. It is a custom object. We have to indicate with the R. R stands for relation. R stands for relation. Now what happened here? Customer ID, customer the corresponding transactions, whatever that may be. Okay, now this is for the custom object. In case we are taking a custom object, standard controller customer __ C, which indicates it's a custom object. Then for a customer object, transaction object, we have parent-child relation. So I have to indicate parent record dot sales __ R. If it is a custom object, sales __ R. If it is a standard object, sales. What my point? Yeah, keep it ready. Parent-child relation. Parent-child relation. We have parent-child relation. If you want to refer to the child fields or child records from the parent record, child records from the parent record, child records from the parent record, then we have to declare in the form of, what is the format that you have to declare? Parent record dot childs. Parent record dot childs object. So childs. Example. Account is a parent. Customer is a child. Sorry. Let me take account is a parent. Contact is a child. Then how should I refer? Apex block table, or else I can simply give it in this format. Okay, let me take this example over here. We are not started the Apex, so I am making it simple. Page block table value equal to so in this case, what is this? Where ACC is a list of records. List of which records? Account records. Account record. And A is a referring to account. A is referring to account record. Am I right? ACC is a list of account records and A is a particular record in the ACC. Now in this case, what do you want to do? You want to indicate, just break it. In this, I'm taking Apex column. In this column, what we are printing, we are trying to refer to the child records of A. How do you refer? Apex value equal to, every parent record will have a number of childs. So it's A dot contacts. A dot contacts. You can refer with similarly, if it is a, now A also have a customer as a child, then how do you refer? Apex repeat value equal to A dot customers __ R. Now A is a account is a parent to contacts as well as parent to both. In both the cases, I am referring to standard object. Fine with the point? Child and customer is also child. I hope you followed this. Any queries? Okay, then you can take this example. We've done that, you can take this example. Will you copy the program from the net, or should I go ahead with the next example? Or would you like to copy? Everyone has net, right? Last you have net, right? No issue. So I'll go ahead with the next example. Okay. Right. I hope things are clear from this point. Right? Okay. Now I want to apply some CSS now. I want to apply some CSS, cascading style sheet. Now we are not going to dig into the topic. We just basically use what is what. Right. So let me start with usage of CSS within the Visual Force page. Now so when you want to define some CSS, I will define style. So what are the properties that you are giving that I have to put it into style. Now if I start something with dot, it's called class. If I start something called dot, it's called class. Now what is that one? CSS style class 1. CSS style class 1. In this I am giving a color. I just give the property color blue. Then we can look at the properties. For this CSS, you can just go through W3 School. We'll take some examples from that. Okay. I give some standard colors. Apex, output, label, value equal to style. Wherever you find style class, here we have to assign a class to it. So when you say style class, it is expecting one of the class from the style class. From the style, what is that? We are given 1. So we have the following property: background color and the text. Now we want to apply the same thing to a div. I want to create this block now. I want to create this block. When you want to create this block, I am going for this. I need to go for the properties. You can directly go through W3 Schools. You can use border properties. So we are going to use some of the border properties here. What is that? Background color, background border radius. So we have some options here. I'm going to use these properties, whatever that I'm showing. So just use the W3 Schools. Get back to your content. Okay, not worry about that. My suggestion is don't buy hard the CSS. Leave it. Whenever you require, just simply plenty of references are available. Just based on your requirement, copy the content and take it. No need of buy harding. We are not hardcore developers. We are hardcore developers. We don't look at CSS and all this stuff. It's not our duty. Okay. Now let me take it here. So what we are taking, we are going with the backgrounds and borders. Now let us look at this point. Now we are trying to create a border here, left border, right border, and we are going to indicate the size. So what happened here? Basically we said border equal to 2 pixel. I am making the border equal to 5 pixel. What happened? The thickness of the border has increased. Then padding 10 pixel. The padding, the space here, the space what you are getting from the top to bottom starting. I'll give the padding as 100. Let us see the difference now. What the point? Distance between this, bottom, all the 4 directions. So what is the padding that we got? Now here we can also give in this format padding left, from left side it's 20 pixel. Padding top 50 pixel. Submit. Now what happened here? I gave from left padding, from the top padding. The rest of the things I didn't give. That's the reason why you are not getting any space. Now I'll give. I'm not giving a padding for all the 4 directions. Specifically, I'm giving here. So I go for padding. Padding bottom 80 pixels. Got it? So we can indicate the padding of your own choice in all the direction. If not, I can indicate the padding of for specific direction, common or specific direction. Now we got a border bottom left radius. Basically we have something called border radius. When I give border radius, see, submit. Now what happens when you create a button? Basically for a button what we get? Curves you'll be getting. The curves if you want to make it, you can give it. Now I don't want the curves for all the 4 direction. I want the curves for only left. So border bottom left radius. Border bottom right radius. Now if you are opening a Salesforce, what we are finding here? What is this? Tell me now. Border bottom. Okay. Then we have no. So we have got bottom one, bottom left, then bottom top left. So it is bottom left, top left, right, this thing. Now I require for this one only bottom left, top right. Okay. Then here similarly for this component he has given the border for only these 2. He is trying to merge 2 components side by side. Getting my point here, right? So this is border. So we want to indicate what is the border color. What is the border color? What we have done here? Let me give you. I hope you are following me. Now border. What is the border color? Border 5 pixels solid. Then background color, border radius. Did I give any color? If I don't specify any color, automatically you are going to get the black. So background color I gave my own choice. Okay. Now let me start in the same things in the Visual Force. Now I have to define it as what? I'm giving. Now let me take one by one component. Border 5 pixel. Then I'm giving width 200 pixel, height 100 pixel. I'm getting a component here. In the HTML, if you want to assign, you have to give class equal to 1. For Visual Force component, you are going to give style class. In HTML, you are going to give class. Now for this component, I give border 5 pixel. Okay, this is sample. You go to the border as background color. Did I set the background color for this? I have not set. So let me set the background color here. So how do you set the background? the same components what I'm using here. Nothing special I'm using. So what we have? Background. You can also take the background color. Any one component will work, not an issue. Right? Background color or background. But on the button, when you create a button, both will not work. Only one will work. When you're taking a buttons, command buttons, both will not work. Okay, I'll go with this. Now for this, what I want to do, I want to assign this. I want to create a same component. When I want to create a same component, what I can do, I create a div. Within that div, I am going to display some data. Now let us see. I want to take the color code. Select the color. Indicate the color. Now you want for the border, you want some light white color so that it can be recognized. Okay. Now you have ten pixel. Let me see, give this. I will extend the topic. As of now, look at the topic. So you got the component. I have to choose some color which is more near to this. Now the data is printing from the corner. I don't want the data to be printed from the corner. I want the data to be printed a bit. So what I have to add? Tell me. What is the component? Padding. Right. Now in this one, I want to create a data list. If you are observing here, what they are printing, recent items or some list they are printing. So I will print standard controller, account, records it where, items, sidebar, false. I told sidebar false, so the sidebar is not displayed. In this I am creating here. Value items because it's a data list. No, but this should be printed in the command link format. So what I can do, command link value equal to action. How the action should be defined? .id. Yesterday you have done this example. This is going to be displayed when you click on this. What is action? It will open the record detail page. It will open the record detail page. Any query on this? This example you have done yesterday, right? No. There's error now. Command link. So it should be under form. Now what happened? The size is there. I need to give the size. I'll take only 5 records or 6 records. I don't want to display all the records. I want to display only 5 records. So we have rows 5. Let's say rows 5, only 5 records it is going to display. And I want to give color. Color I want to display in white color so that things will be displayed neatly, right? So I have to choose total 6 Fs. Okay, are you getting my points here? We're just trying to build the standard functionality. Links are there. Then for link I need to set the different color. Selected link, non-selected link. So what we are doing here, we can also set, in case if you want to set the style for this. Individually I want to set the style for this. Style. This is called inline. This is called inline. For a specific component you are setting it. It's called as inline. Internal means common properties you are defining on the top. The same thing will be applied for number of components. When you say inline, only for that component it is applied. You want to define, like for me, for Satish, the property is so and so. Again, when you want to display for her, you want to define name property. When you want to define to next girl, again name property. So for every component we have to define. That is called inline. When you say internal, student properties. So X student properties, Y student properties. Same properties are applied for everyone. They are called internal. Now what happened? Got it? Now I got so much space because I gave padding length. So let me reduce the padding length. Now did you get the same style what we have to get in the standard one? Same style we got here? It's not applied. Padding. Sorry. Border radius. 1 pixel. Padding 3 pixel. Now look at the things. Still if you reduce the padding, it will move to the left hand side. Now we are getting the same format what we are getting here. It's a black color, I have given something on this. Now I want to create a pick list. So when you want to create a pick list, create a div. Within the div you are going to create a pick list. Is that was clear? Any queries on this? Hope things are clear. Right. So can we design a page, this page? This is one div. Now for this div there is a space on the top. There is a space. For this, look at our page. We can set the width from the left, top, we can set the width. So let me give you in this format. No. I hope this is clear for everybody, right? Any queries? Fine? Okay. Now, let me create a one complex page now. So style, not Q. Now I'm giving a width 500 pixel. Pixel. give inner. I'm giving some standard colors. Right. I've created a div. For this div, I give class equal to div give class equal to okay. Now I created two components. Now here let me create some sample data. Now I need to break between both. When you want to break between both, I'm going to give we're just trying to use, that's all, nothing more than that. We have some properties, we are just trying to exercise those options. Now I give some border. Now if you observe here, this is also printed on this one. It has taken the div entirely from the beginning. There is a reason why you are getting a background color here. So we have to set a position. We have to set a position. Do you want to start from 0, position? You want automatically automatic, or you want to adjust relative to the particular data? Got my point here. For this we also got some position attributes. Now whatever that you are finding here, can I define this one? It's a div. Outside one is a div. In that, this is one div. This is another div. This is another div. Can I create that like that? Can we decide? Can we create these things? The four elements we will try to create. Div 1. Outer one is the entire div. Div. Outer div. Okay. Create div is one div. Region item is one div. Then below that is one div. And recycle bin is one div. So when you say div, they will be printed in new line. They will be printed in new line. Can I use this? Can I create this one? Let us try out by creating this. I just want to show you that there is something called div. Within the div, we can go for subparts. Now my intention is to create this one. Okay. Now let me first remove this. If I remove the blue color, let us see what is the. I want to create that outer structure. Fine. Now background color is white. Okay. Let us create this example. Whatever that you are finding, create new recent items, some records, recycle. So our intention is whatever that we are able to find in the standard pages, can we create based on our requirement or not? That's our intention. Let me create. What we have, I'm going with standard controller. Record set var. Then we have sidebar, false. Now I will define style. For create button, I am creating a style. Then for this, width 100 pixel, height 30 pixel, Right. Now, first I'm clicking for outer. Width 150 pixel. Right. Class equal to outer. This class new class equal to that. Now I want to give some space, so I have to give margin top okay. Within this one I want to create apex, select option, select list. Say let me take list view options. We create an records it where on the top. Let me take list view options. List view options I have taken. Any query on this one now? I just created a select list option within a div. Now within select option, what I have to give? Background color. Background color, I have to give border. Then I have to give, what is the next one? Border radius. Right. Now, what is the color that we are able to find on the top? Text color should be white and the color should be blue. So let me take the color code. Which blue is that? Some blue from this. Same blue? Okay. Background color. Now border pixel. Solid. What is the color for the background? Border color. What? Some white. If you take FFF, then white will not be shown because the background is also white. So let me take some light color. I'll take, okay, let us take this slide border. Okay. Oh, I kept this one for inner, right? Create. Okay. Here I should take create. Okay. Now what will be the error? Select option, so it should be in form. Let us decrease the width. No. So what we have to do? Let me take the width. The pixel. At the same time, I have to give width for this. I have to reduce the width. style, right? Right. Now for this I have to give the border curve of this one should be the same. So I have to give the mapping, like I have to reduce the same. So what I have to do is, now this is the reason why the people hate using CSS. Why? Because now you have to sit to adjust the things. 45, then I have to give border radius per pixel. Then reduce this border thickness. What is this? Per pixel. No, the height I can reduce the height. If you reduce the height, it will be same. So for this, I'll give something here. Okay. Fine. Now they created. Now what we have done in this case, they are taking the background colors. Instead of white, they are taking the background colors blue. On that, they are taking the color. So what I have taken here? So this background color I have to give it as blue now. Now instead of giving, it's not a good practice to keep it within the component. So always don't give the styles within a component. So always suggestible to take it outside so that the same properties can be applied for some other component. So let me remove here. So if you write within a component, only that is for only that particular component. But when you want to use for another, it won't support us. So what we can do is, now we have to give select class equal to select. Fine. If you change the color, it will be the same, right? The thickness of the color is changing, that's all. I cannot give it like this, I have to give. So we are getting on the same font. Let me change the, it is very thick. Change to this. Fine. Now then I have to create one more component below that. What is that component? Then I have to go for next component, recent. Below the recent, I have to go for system admin. So again, when you want to go for recent, put one more component within the same div. No. Can you apply more than one style class? We can do that. We can apply more than one style class. Now I am creating here recent. For the recent, I am giving here width. The width is 150, 830. then background color. Then I have to go for component here, other clock. Class equal to, what is the class name? Now for this I have to give property padding from then it's up to your choice what you want to build. I'm just trying to create one or two components. Now I want to give a width, gapping should be there. So when you want to give a gap, you have to give what is the width that I gave here? Okay. Now I have to give margin so that you get that on the top. Fine. Now give the curve. When you give the curve, it also will get the curve. So border radius. I hope things are clear. Rest you can try it out. I'll go with some HTML components now. Fine. Rest of the components here. I am created one component. I am going to attach that. So rest is your story. Try out with your own requirement. Now I want to give a margin here. You can give padding left 10 pixels so that it will come this side. Clear out the point, right? Like that you can create your own components based on your requirement, like buttons or whatever it is, up to your choice. Now let me go for usage of some HTML components within this, and we'll wind up. Now when you want to go for a table creation, generally what we do is, when I want to generate some PDF pages, I told render as PDF. So we are going to get that data in the form of PDF. Now when I use some of the components in the Salesforce page, they won't support render as component. They won't support render as PDF. The styles are not going to be supported. Let me show you. I hope things are clear till now. Any query? Right. Standard controller records it where render as PDF. Any query on this now? I just created. Value, I have to give value as what? Items. Why I told I should go for a page table, I'll explain now. We are trying to, basically what is the purpose of PageBlock table? We are trying to display some data in the form of table format. Apex, we got column. Okay. Let me run this page now. When you run this page, it should be in the form of PDF. So leave it. How did you get? Did you get this property? So some of the components in the Visual Force are not going to be supported. The style of the some of the components is not supported on Visual PDF. Some of the Visual Force components in the render as PDF are not supported. When you use it, we won't get it. Now I want to get a border now. Now I want to get a border. Now how do you define this border now? If you want to define this border, again I need to go for table component. So in the HTML I have to create a table and use it. Right? So let me give you. So in this case what I will do is, instead of page block table, I will use something called table border pixel. You can define the width and height, it's up to your choice. Now within this TR stands for what? Row, table row. TR stands for table row. Now where I am going to define this TR? Apex, repeat, in this I am creating TR. The TR I am taking a D. Now when you repeat, number of rows are going to be created. It is going to create number of rows in every row. It is going to have two columns, a dot name, a dot industry. Now what happened here? You got the table border. Now I want border for everything. So for border for everything, row all equal to 2, right? What is it called? What is that property? Border for all the columns. We got the entire table row border. Now we want to get the border for all the columns. Row all. What is the CSS property? Table borders. Right. So instead of defining for everything, they're asking you to define line for everything. Okay. So let me take the CSS here. Table tr td. So instead of classes, directly you can define. When you use like this, wherever you use table, wherever you use tr, wherever you use td, for that it is going to apply. In that case, no need to give here. So wherever you give table, automatically that property is going to be applied. Not applied? Okay. So what is that we have? Actually, there is a component. There is a component to say row all or something is there. Okay. Now let me give it. Once again, give me. Okay. Y2. Okay. So you're not getting it, right? So we had some error here actually. Apply body tag, we got it right. because of this component, we almost spent 3 months. The reason is the previously it was not supporting the old 16.0 to 26.0. Whatever the CSS that you are writing directly supported on the PDF. Later on after 26.0, they told whatever the CSS that you are writing that is not supported in the PDF. So we have to set the default body tag flag. Right. We almost spent a lot of time we spent generating. Later on we realized that by just keeping these values false, the properties will be applied. It's not applied. Why it's not applied? Okay. Let me give it in another way. So it's not taken directly. Okay. Simple format is 1 give then still not applied. Border. What should I do now? Fine. We get a table border, later on we just kept it. Now we are trying to get the data. Now what I want is, I don't want to get this data. I don't want to give any border for these internal columns. Now we have margin top, border left, border top, this components. Let me give it now. Now what we are getting a box. I don't want the boxes now. I don't want the boxes. Let me remove this. Now we have internal components, something called border top, left margin, border left, border right margin, something is there. Let me give this. Now we are getting the complete one. I don't want entire thing, so I require something called border left. No. Fine, you can just try it out. Just look at the styles of that, apply. So what my index is saying, the page block table is not going to be printed in the format. For that, what we have to use is, we have to use some HTML components like tables and all those to get your border. Same they gave here. Done. Just create some, look at the table components, apply some components and try to apply left margin, right margin. Instead of giving the entire, we have an option of giving a margin for top, margin for the bottom. Like we are displaying the data in the table. When you are displaying the data in the table, I don't want the margin for entire thing. Just like something like this. Something is playing. Right. Let me give you what I was intended to do. Tag was not applied. Why the tag was not applied? Yeah. Any script writers are here? We should appreciate the patience, right? No. We need to get the table CL. There is something option called row all or show all, something is there. Look at the CSS for the table, you can get it. Okay, I'm just winding up here. You can look at the table CSS, you can get it. If you're not getting it, I'll give you the format. Okay. So what is it? Anybody remember? Table row alls. What is it? Fine, you can check it out. Right, you can try out with the CSS, right? So basically this is the format of using the CSS. You can try out with the creation of standard divs and tables. Fine. So that's all for the day. So tomorrow I am going to use Salesforce controller. That is sending a request to the database from Visualforce page. I don't like to use any Apex program to send a web service call. From this one only, I am going to send a web service call to the third party, get the data, and I am going to use the data in the Visualforce page. So now till now what we are doing, we are getting the data by keeping a standard control. I don't want to take that. I want to send a request to the Salesforce, get the data. I want to insert the data directly from the Visualforce page into the object, all this stuff. Right. This is one of the major concepts for Salesforce, and the people who won't project it basically because they don't work on the S-Forces. But S-Force is something which will reduce your time of deployment, time of your code. Generally, when you achieve the same functionality using Apex program, you have to write the test classes, meet the test coverage, all this stuff. But what we do is